What's up, Commanders? Ninebot here. Today we're going to be taking a look at something I've been asked several times recently on stream and in other places. And that is, have you ever been going into combat, you deploy your hardpoints, and this happens. Your whole ship shuts down, power limit exceeded, modules disabled. What's going on here? Well, it's pretty simple, and fixing it is actually pretty simple. There's a couple ways to do it. So, first off, stow your weapons. And if you're in a combat zone, go somewhere else so you can work on your solution because you don't want to be a sitting duck. Now, while we wait on our shields to come back, let's have a look over here at our modules. Now you will see right down there at the bottom, it says output 100%, usage 100%. So when we deploy our modules, we are using 105% of what our power distributor can put out. Now, obviously, your power distributor can't put out 105%. So, how do we stop this? Well, there's an easy way to stop this while you're in flight, and it's this priority menu over here. You'll see that everything on this ship is set to priority 1, or just on. So, a couple things you can do is you can manually go in and turn some things off. So, there are things down here that don't really use power. But we could, for example, turn off our point defense turret. That takes 1% off. We could turn off our limpet controller. We could turn off our fuel scoop. There you go. The fuel scoop uses 3% power, and suddenly we can run all of our hardpoints again. Now, this is tedious, and you don't want to do this all the time. So how do you avoid having to actually go in and just manually turn things on and off? That's what the priority list I mentioned earlier is for. So you can set things 1, 2, 3. So let's say we don't really need the planetary vehicle hangar to be running, now do we? We don't need the cargo hatch in combat. We're probably not going to use the fuel scoop. Let's see, what else? Let's turn our limpet controller back on, but we're not going to need it. There you go. Change a couple more things to 3. Sensors we want. Point defense turret, probably a decent idea to have on during combat, but let's set it to a 2. Now what's going to happen is we deploy our modules, you'll see that we are still flying even though we got the power plant capacity exceeded, because the ship has shut down the modules that we told it to when we deployed our hardpoints. Now when we retract our hardpoints right here, still good. And you'll see that the modules that we disabled are going to be coming back online. So let's go through that again. So, now, even though we got the message, you can see the modules disabled. The ship has disabled the modules that we told it to, starting with 3, going to 2. And that has allowed us to keep the ship running. Now, you can have this happen to you in absolutely any ship. It's not just the Cobra that I've chosen here. The Vulture is well known for this. The Vulture is a ship that will make you learn power management, but it can happen to you in any ship. Now, I know exactly what the culprit is in this ship, and we'll show that to you when we get into the station. It's actually probably going to be the most common culprit for a lot of people, but let's go ahead and get into the port and take a look at outfitting, and we'll show you how to just not have to do this anymore if you don't want to. Alright, so now that we're back at the station, let's hop into outfitting and let's have a look. So, the first place that you want to go when this happens, generally, is to look straight at your power plant. And you'll see that this ship has a 4B power plant in it. And if we look at the power specs down there, you see that when we're retracted, the hard points aren't out, the ship's using 12.2 megawatts. When everything is deployed, it's using 15.10 megawatts. And the total power that this power plant is able to make is 14.3 megawatts. So we have a deficit of negative 0.8 megawatts. That is why, without setting priority groupings, when you deploy everything on this particular ship, it shuts down. It doesn't have enough power to handle it. So the quickest and easiest way to fix it would be to upgrade the power plant. And here we see, with the Class A power plant in it, we have 15.60 megawatts available to play with. So that is the quickest way to solve that problem. Let's go ahead and show you that if we were to jump back down to the 4B. There you go. Now, the astute among you will note these numbers are not exactly the same. It's because this station doesn't sell a 4A power plant. So what I've done is I have simply gotten rid of that pre-built Cobra we were in and redeployed the pre-built Cobra to its default state. So the modules aren't exactly the same. However, what you're seeing is that with the right power plant in it, then we are able to run this ship with absolutely no problem. So if you're running into this issue where you deploy everything and you shut down, power plants, if you can afford it, would be your easiest upgrade. The next thing that you could do, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out another ship here to kind of show you guys this, is that we could go ahead and engineer. So this is a Federal Corvette. Lots and lots of power consumption going on here. And how am I managing all that? Well, I have a Class 8 power plant for one, but this is a overcharged power plant. So it has 32% more power capacity than the standard Class 8. So this is another way that you can do this, is you can overcharge or other engineer modifications to your power plant. You can also do things that will make your other components more power efficient through engineering, but really upping your power plant through engineering is one of the easiest ways to do this. So to recap, guys, if you find yourself deploying your weapons and you don't know why you're running out of power, first go over here and set your priorities so that you can actually keep your ship running. You'll see that even on this Corvette, I do have some priorities set. The next thing you want to do is take a look at your power plant and see if you can upgrade it, if you can afford the upgrade to make it a higher class power plant that has the power that will actually run your ship. And if that fails or you don't have enough money, you can engineer your power plant capacity, or you could do both and just make sure you never have to worry with it again. And that should stop you from having to worry about your ship shutting down when you press the deploy hardpoints button. If you guys found this one useful or helpful, hey, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments. If there's something else in the leaf that you'd like me to take a look at for you, feel free to also leave that in the comments. And if you are here to the end of the video, watch time is key on YouTube. So thank you very much. I'm Commander Dimebot. See you guys next time.